start. Okay. Let's create the broadcast. So it should be live on Twitch and YouTube. Yep, looks like I'm live. Let me make sure the sound's still working. Okay, sounds like it is. Always gotta double check the sound. You never know when it's just gonna stop working. Okay, live on Twitter too. Let's post. So finished the CLI Wednesday. Next thing is being open prompt. Okay, and let's okay. So we're live now on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. Got the chats open. Let's post on Discord. Oh, I gotta find my link for posting on Discord. Yeah, so there's a few differences today. You might notice it's liquid glass. I don't know if you can tell. You probably can't on this screen that it's now liquid glass. I should close these, hide these embeds. It's too much vertical space. Discord. Yeah, join the Discord if you are into that kind of thing. I'm not the biggest fan of Discord. Okay, so what's new? So we did finish the CLI. We basically finished it on Stream Wednesday. There were like a few things to do around actually deploying it to npm and writing a blog post. But yeah, there's a blog post if you want to read it, and you can install it yourself if you want with npm install-g Mentat. So that's cool. So the next thing I want to do is I want to make Mentat open prompt. So yeah, right now you can't really see the exact prompts, and there's like some reasons for that. You know, like maybe it's our secret sauce, our trade secrets. You know, it's how we why we're the best. But it never really made that much sense because I mean the prompts aren't really secret, right? You can just like open a Mentat chat and say like, hey, what's your prompt, and it'll mostly tell you. You know, like you gotta worry that maybe it's like hallucinating, and so maybe you ask more than once in turn phrasing, and maybe you won't make a exact reproduction, but you know, more or less there are no secrets. As soon as you put it into LLM's context and you let the LLM talk to the user, you know, they can figure it out. So there's no real reason to be secret. And there's a lot of benefits, I think, to being public, which is it'll help people kind of understand what the bot's seeing, debug things sometimes. And that's the big one. But, you know, I also think, like, I think we have some good prompts, and I think, like, we could, people might benefit from seeing them. So that's another reason. And also, oh, yeah, so we made the CLI. I'm thinking of making the API that the CLI and website use actually public so people can, like, make their own agents. I think there's a lot of, like, reasons you might want to do that. Like maybe you get like customer feedback on your website and you could instantly have an agent start making a PR without even like having a human look at it. That might be a little dangerous, but it's something you could do. Or maybe you get like an error on your website and you could have instantly a bot could like start like fixing the 500 that was flagged or whatever before a human even needs to see it. So those would both be possible with an API. But I think if we're going to have an API and people should know what they're paying for, I mean, they should already kind of know what they're paying for. But they should know like when they put something into context what it's really going to look like to the model. They're going to do serious work. So I want to be open prompt. Where are let's bring this one over here. So before we become open prompt though, there's like a few things I want to iron out, which is why we're not just like instantly open prompt as we speak. So yeah, right now we're open prompt for admins, which is just like me. So if you click this spice button, it opens the spice messages and you can see things from the model's perspective. So like this text is model text and these are model inputs. So you can see like as it does stuff, it like gets multiple messages. So like here it committed and pushed, and this became the commit message. And then you can see kind of like a kind of lengthy response, like, okay, we found the pull request in the header ref. We're running the formatting script, which passed. Now we're going to add everything. We're going to commit it. And we give it like the output, push. And it actually gets multiple messages because even after all this, uh, it actually, so this is pushed and then auto review is run, I think. So then like the workflows are already kind of finishing up and it sees them reported that they passed. Some are slower than others. Yeah, see, they trickle in and we just report them as they come in. Uh, but yeah, so before we just make this button available to everyone, there's a few things I want to do. First, I want to make it not a salt shaker. There's no real reason for it to be a salt shaker. I think that's kind of confusing. Also, it probably shouldn't be called spice messages. That's kind of a internal name. We should probably just call it raw messages. I don't know. I don't know. The word raw just seems too raw. So maybe we'll just call them LLM messages or prompts. Uh, just check the chats. Okay, so that's one thing we have to do. Another thing we have to do is we have to make the prompts accurate in all places. So uh, in here, you get like a linear sequence of every message that's shown to the LLM. But when we make an LLM completion, it's not necessarily fed in a linear way. It's mostly linear, but the big exception is summaries. So when the model makes a summary, we can find it in the spice messages just with Control F. So here's the summary. So how that works is the model is shown the first, I guess, 90 events. So it's 45 GitHub events and 45 bot actions. I guess it's actually more than 90. It's more than 90 messages because every bot action is actually 2 messages. I'm trying to do the math. This is 1 to 157, but this is 45 plus 45. But this should be multiplied by 2. So it's 45 times 3. Wow, it's so funny. I literally just saw a tweet that said, if your man can't instantly multiply 45 times 3, I've got bad news for you, which I guess is a weightlifting reference. So that's 135, I hope. So then there's a missing 22. And I think that's because when we do summarize, what we do is we actually insert this in earlier in the conversation. So we summarize we get the long trajectory and we like summarize the beginning, and then we insert this message after the summary because this is sorry. So you take the beginning and you just throw it out, except for the first 2 messages, which are like system prompt information, and then you insert this message right after, and where those would have been, and then but then the things that come after are left preserved. That way the model doesn't get like totally confused about what it was like just doing. You don't want to like summarize the whole thing because the recent events are like they're important. You know, if it just edited something, maybe the thing it needs to do next is edit something else, and it's you don't want to like totally throw it off track. So yeah, so I like this system, but it makes the spice messages inaccurate to the reader because this is just inserted, but the user can't see what the model's actually seeing very well. And I believe there's also, we'll have to check, but I believe there's like a message here that's like not shown where, so we insert this and we have the normal thing, but I think at the very end, we also include another message that's just like, by the way, we summarized at this point, you might need to review files if they like were truncated off, for instance. But I'm not 100% sure about that. So we'll have to make those 2 things. We'll have to make the summaries accurate. I'm not sure exactly what I want to do about this because, yeah, I don't know. There's different ideas. I guess one idea would be that we reproduce the ordering logic that's on the back end and the agent on the front end, and then here there could be like if when it's summarized, there could be like buttons you could press, and if you click like after summary 1, after summary 2, it like does the truncation that the model would see. So you see it from the model's perspective. Now that I've said that, I kind of like that. Yeah, another idea I was going to suggest was the summaries could like link to where they're inserted. So like we could just have a button here that like you click and grow back. Yeah, that could be good too. but yeah, so that's one thing we have to do. Another thing we have to do is we have to make the costs accurate. So here, I mean, this is an admin view. Users can't see this. So it reports the costs as in dollars, but it should report the costs in credits. So our pricing is open. We just charge a 19.5% margin on our LM calls. So this, instead of saying 30 cents, this should say like, I don't know, like 35 credits. But other than that, I think these can be preserved. They might be useful to the users. Oh, yeah, even after the summary, there's a lot cached because the system prompt is unchanged. Okay. So those two need to be accurate. And then there's two other places where we do an LLM completion that are like out of band with the main agent loop, which we need to think of a good way to render as well. So those are automatic reviews. So automatic reviews actually involve like two LLM calls that are both out of band. So we don't show the automatic reviewer the agent history, because if we did that, it would kind of like add no value. You might as well just tell the main agent, hey, think about what you did. You know, it would be no different than just asking it to review itself. Oh yeah, this, I think users can actually see this and should maybe be changed to be accurate. So there's the automatic review, and then there's the automatic review summary. So we asked the model, the main loop, to summarize what it did and why. So you can see the kind of thing it writes. It summarizes the user request. The user requested to enhance the Mentat CLI. Well, yeah, so I actually did this on stream. You might remember it. So I asked it to add a web flag to Mentat view, which makes sense. And it summarizes important finding. And it, oh, I guess it even summarized previous auto reviews so the auto reviewer would know what it already said. And you can see this is in band with the main loop. So we do it with that loop, that conversation history, so we can get like really good caching. So this is just 4 cents, which is good. But we don't add it to the conversation. We do the completion and throw it out, so the model doesn't get confused about like, oh, I was working on the task and then I was summarizing, so it doesn't have to get confused. So this is highly cached, but then this is like a totally different call, so it's like 0 cached. And this call, I don't actually know exactly what it sees. That's one thing that we need to change. And it should see, it sees what the LM writes and it sees the diff. I think that might be it. And like a system prompt explaining like what it should do, which is review the change. Yeah, the point of the automatic review is kind of like to keep things fresh, so that like as you keep making changes, like crap might get in there. You might like have comments that shouldn't be there, or you might have missed something. So the auto reviewer kind of like catches those things. I have noticed it like actually improve code quality substantially, I think. So I'm glad we have it. But yeah, so we have to think about how to represent those prompts. And then another thing that we need to do is this PR description. Oh, this is a very long one, maybe too long, is also written out of band. So we'll have to represent that too. So yeah, it's sort of a lot actually, now that I think about it. Yeah, I guess this is why people often don't make things open source, where like it kind of has to make sense to be open source. And I think the same thing is true of like open prompt, or so we just like show people this, they're going to get confused about what the model's seeing. And it's probably better to show nothing than something confusing. Okay, so I think that's all the things we have to think about though. But the thing I was going to start with was actually something different, which is I want these messages to link to the Spice messages. So I want like a button here next to the copy button where if you click it, it like opens the Spice messages and scrolls you to that spot. So I'm gonna ask Mentat to get started on that. So let's make Mentat new. Okay, so there's a few things to do about that. So on the front end, we show a chat and a Spice messages interface. I want them to link to each other. Okay, so I know the events already have a UUID and the spice messages. Oh wait, I remembered. I think this might be cut off. I should probably just add some white space here. We can delete it later. Actually, I wonder if we have a trim on the front end. So if I just send it with white space, if it'll stripped off, probably. I can double check. Okay, so on the front end, we show a chat and a spice message interface. I want them to link to each other. I know the events already have a UID, and the spice messages are contained in events. But this information might be lost on the front end, so maybe some wiring will be necessary. Okay, so I want every event in the chat in the upper right to have a button that opens spice messages and scrolls to the first spice message in that event. Or I guess not every event has an associated spice message. Some things we just don't show the model. For instance, if you change the model, I don't think we render that to the model. Where it would go if it had any. And then I want the opposite too. Let me just note, there are multiple kinds of cards on the chat. They all should link. Okay. And then what else? Is this big enough? Maybe I should make this a little bigger. Okay. I just noticed the wait, never mind. I thought the Twitter stream was like way behind. Actually, it just wasn't live for some reason. Okay, it's not actually that behind. Okay. So, and then I want the opposite too. So every, okay. And then, so I want these links to be like kind of shareable. So I want, when you click one, it should add a slug to the URL that has that UUID. When you click them, could it add a slug? What's a normal way to render this? UUID spice, I guess. I gotta change my surround thing. It always had spaces. And then yeah, so if you go to a link with that slug, it should pre-scroll. Sorry, place. Let's say it also have some kind of highlight effect. Maybe a chat icon. Oh yeah, let's also change the chat icon. Let's also change the spice message icon to oh yeah, I picked one out earlier. Oh. I think a good one would be, where is it? Material icons. Okay. I think a good one would be like bioengineering, biotech. Yeah. and let's also not use the phrase spice messages on the front end. So instead of spice messages, let's call them LLM messages. Okay, I think that's a good start. Did I search for white space? Why is this all highlighted? I don't know. That's weird. Okay, and then we can open that one. So it's working on it. Okay. Wow, it's fast. It's already looked at a bunch of stuff. Oh yeah, so while it works on that one, let's think about the next thing, which should be conversation or summarizations. So yeah, I think that idea I just had is the one I like the most. So the idea was that we reproduce the ordering logic that's on the back end, on the front end, and if there's a summarization, by default you see it after the most recent summarization, but then you can like click a button to see it as it saw it before that. So yeah, let's describe that. Currently, spice messages on the front end don't accurately reflect summarizations. Part of the reason that's difficult is it makes the ordering nonlinear. Can we have buttons appear for each summarization that reorder the messages to their order after that summarization? E.g., if there's no summarizations, it should be as it is now. If there's one, you should see buttons that say for summarization after summarization 1 ... And when you click them, it should reorder, should show the spice messages as they'd appear to the model before or after the relevant summarization. Okay, so I guess that's what I want. Yeah, that makes sense to me. I'll just say you may have to reproduce our backend ordering logic on the front end. Okay, so now it's starting on that. Let's see this agent needs any help. Okay, so it's editing a lot of stuff. That's an interesting pattern of editing where it is editing like multiple at once, but like kind of two at a time. There's a lot to do. Yeah, looks like it's making good progress though. Oh yeah, we can see the diff it's made so far. What's that over? So it did successfully change it to the biotech icon. That's good. Use event leaking. Made a new hook. Guess that makes sense. Then it, I don't know why I needed to change the element config. It's surprising to me. Okay, made a new button for the event link button. Makes sense when it's adding it to the cards. Seems like a good strategy to me. I wonder why I'll expand all that in class probably. Yeah, looks like it's making good progress. We'll try it out when it's done. See how the other one's doing. So enhance spice messages display. Okay, so it's searching around for this one. Looking at files. Okay. So something else I noticed when we were looking at the summary in the spice messages is I think there might be a lost message. So let's see if we can find our summarize code. So where do we, okay, so we create a summary event. Create the event with its summary message. Okay, so it includes the indexes. So these numbers are UUIDs. Numbers, I guess. Interesting. Okay, and then so we include the response stats, the raw summary, the summary. What's the difference between these two? What's the raw summary? Here we got our prompt. I hate these inline prompts. What do we return? So we return the summary text. It's interesting. Okay, so the summary. What is this text? Oh, okay. Okay, so this is what we show the model, and this is the actual response. But this is just a little extra where we let the model know exactly what was summarized. Okay, and then I guess there's the other question of like how does a summary event end up in the trajectory? Oh wait, this is okay. So your summary event. Okay, so I think this is where we actually reorder them and apply summary events. So what do we do there? So process events, handling summary events, and returning the list of events to render. So we get all the events, and then we loop through and find the most recent summary. And then if it's none, then we just return all events. If we did get something, okay, and then here is where we add a little note, a summary applied event. It's a weird place to add user text. Yeah, I mean, this might actually be a bug. I'll have to. Yeah, I don't think. So let's try to understand what this logic is doing. I didn't write this code. So initial prompt event is not included in summary. That makes sense. And then we move the summary event here, which is so we get the summary event because yeah, that's just that. And then when the events to render, it starts, okay, so it starts with just the initial event, which is like where we have our system prompt. And then we add the summary event. So we're throwing out basically everything that came before. And then we starting from there, we okay, so it's just okay, so we start from there and then we go through all the events and huh. I see the logic now. So this user text actually does never end up in the database, which is why if you search spice messages for that, it's an important note. So important notice, yeah. So if you search it, you don't see it because it's never actually stored to the database. Oh yeah, I was going to mention we upgraded. We're on liquid glass now. I don't know. I don't really notice it day to day. Maybe it's better. Okay, so this is never actually put in the database, but it is put in the LLM's context, which is why when we look through our spice messages, where's that summary? So it's high level. All right, that's too much. So when I search for that, we find it here. You see the model understands that it was summarized after this message and it like calls it out explicitly, but it doesn't say anything here because it still sees that message, but it sees it further back. So it doesn't acknowledge it again. Okay. So that's another thing we'll have to fix because this message should appear in the spice messages, I think. Okay. Yeah, somehow. No, I don't know. I don't know if this is good code or not. Maybe the code's fine. But just to say again what's happening, when it's time to summarize, because our context is too long, we actually jump back a few messages, like about halfway through, and ask it to summarize that stuff. And then what we show the model going forward is the summary of that stuff, and then what comes after unaffected. But then right there, at that point where we decided to summarize, we give it this note. So it sees this other note too. Makes sense. And it becomes a whole different event, a summary applied event. Which is interesting. Okay, and then the summary event is inserted here. So I guess it must actually be an attribute. Okay, this user text is on the summary event, which is actually inserted earlier. It's inserted at end index, I guess. Or it's inserted at 1, and then what follows is what is after end index. So I think, I guess it does sort of need to be 2 events. I would ideally like this text to be attached to the summary event because we might change this message later. And if we do, we'll have like lost it in the earlier messages. I guess we could just never change it. Doesn't seem like a good solution. Okay. Let's see how our bots are doing. Okay, so link. Okay, so that one paused. So let's check it out. So we can see how it looks on localhost. Is it running? Yeah, I might need to change my database. Where am I? That's the right place to be, I think. Okay. So yeah, I'll log in off screen. I don't think it shows anything suspicious, but okay. So here we are logged in. See what the spice messages look like. Oh, nice. So it did add them. So yeah, I think they look fine, but I think they need to have the same kind of invisibility that this has. Yeah. Shouldn't these have? Okay, so I guess this one doesn't have effect. Oh, I'm also noticing that the presence of this is increasing the spacing, where it's a little tighter without it. So we should change that too. We got these messages here. Okay, so yeah, let's just see if they work. That's the important thing, right? So which one did I click? The shutdown? Wait, I can't even remember which one I clicked. Yeah, I clicked pause for feedback. If I click this one. Wait. So if I click, shouldn't the, I don't see a shutdown here. There should be a shutdown message though. Oh, I think, so there's, okay, so okay, oh, that's cool. Highlights. It's kind of a little bit of latency. Just not clicking that. So this one's the pause for feedback, so that one should definitely highlight that one. Yeah, so something's off about the scroll, where that should like scroll so it's like centered here. I think what it was happening is it just scrolls till it's in view. Oh, if I delete this slug and then click it again, will it work? Right. Yeah, so there's the pause for feedback one, but it's not really centered. Yeah, let me start taking notes about the feedback I'm going to give it. Looks mostly good. Some notes. I might change this icon later actually, but maybe something else. Huh. Okay, so that's kind of off. The styling, the copy, and engineering buttons aren't identical. I'll say end alignment. I want it to be hidden on every card until the card is hovered. Yeah, I guess its presence is kind of like expanding these. The card, the icon's presence on, what are these things called? I guess we can check here. Wait, is this the right thing? Oh, this is just the summarization change, right? Yeah, I think, where's the other one? Yeah, this one. Oh, it's still working, I guess. Oh, we ran it. We can see it in act. Oh, actually, this is going to be cool. Is it going to work? Oh, maybe not. Oh, yeah. Okay, we can just see it in action. Oh, and I can change this so it's more pops. Okay, I'll put that in dark mode. So it ran it, so we can see its changes here. Let's see if we can find an agent. Oh, it's even testing it. Got that one running. Oh, nice, nice. Okay, and so here we can go here and see the spice messages. And yeah, it's running on its own version. Nice. It's pretty cool. So which one did I click? This one is commit and push. So that's the response. I think ideally if I click that, it should scroll. Wait. Why is it duplicated? I wonder if there's a bug. If there's some bug where it duplicated them. Oh no, that's I guess a different thing. But yeah, the model text, it should scroll to the model text. Not the output. What's the face? No, I guess this doesn't have an associated thing. Yeah, I should just give it feedback here instead of in any of them. Let me just copy this. Okay. Let's see, did it fix this? It still looks off. The icon's presence on the, what are they called again? They're the action cards, I think is what they're called. And does this work? Oh yeah, I guess the workflow is connected to this one. Yeah, I guess that is something that's like sort of weird about this, is that like this commit is actually many messages. It's like the model outputting like I want to commit and push. It's us showing the model the effect of that, and then also it's like all these workflows which are like could come in at any point, but they're like rendered in here in the order that we receive them. So this is like a little weird. Why is it not hovering? Oh, where's that one? I see the issue. Oh yeah, it did hover there, but it looked really ugly. The highlight effects should stick around. Yeah, I think they should stick around without having a timeout. And they look really ugly. And then the spice message we should scroll to is the very first in the event. And it should be at the top of the screen after scrolling. Okay. Oh, nice. It got it fixed all its CI. I think that's kind of all the feedback I wanted to give. It's kind of working. Oh yeah, I wanted to see if I like just open this link in another page. Oh wait, let me close this. The layout's actually stored in local storage, so if you like refresh the page, it remembers. But Yeah, I want someone to be able to like give someone else this link and it like opens to the event that they were talking about. So I'll say that. If I go to a link like this, I want it to open spice and pre-scroll to the message. Yes. Okay. Yeah, so I'll let it get started on that, and then we can look at another one. So this, okay, so pull request is created and ready for review. Yeah, I don't really have one that's got summarization. So let's see what it said it did. Okay, very wordy this time. It's telling me about all the issues it fixed. Okay. Feature implementation complete. What it does. So when there are no summarizations, it looks exactly the same. Buttons appear at the top, and then if you click it, it reorders it as it would appear. Implementation details. So it added a summarization state schema to represent different summarization views. Enhanced agent conversation API response to include summarization states field. Yeah, I guess we could read what it did. I'm sorry it needed to do quite so much. Okay, well, we can see if it works. This is sort of a complicated thing. But yeah, to test it out, I think I will. I think where's Unicorn? I'll just. I'll just run it against the QA database locally and see what it looks like. Because we had one that had a summarization. This one had a summarization, right? Yeah. Now I can look at how to look after this change locally. Is it gonna work? I did not like that. I don't know, I didn't like it at first. Okay, so now we can see what the summarization looks like in Spice here. Doesn't appear to know. Oh, okay. So it's at the very top. So that's one thing we're gonna have to tell it because this should be like floating or something. Okay, and then let's see if it's accurate. So let's find that summarization. Oops, let me open that. There it is. So it's so after the summarization, this should appear right after the system message, which it looks like it does. Oh yeah, you can see our README. Yeah, so okay, so the summary is correctly placed after the summarization, and then after that, it should see the events like normal, which I guess it does. But it shouldn't be able to see, still shouldn't see where was it? The summary applied event. Probably. Let's just see if it isn't there. Okay, but it kind of works. Let's give it some feedback on that. Where were we? Is it this one? It was this one. Nice. It mostly works. 2 notes. The buttons to select. Oh yeah, let's also see what it looks like if we choose an event that wasn't summarized. So if we go here, this one didn't have a summary, right? Then we go to those spice messages. Yeah, it doesn't say anything at the very top because there was no summaries. Okay, that's as I'd expect. So the buttons to select which summary to render should be floating, so you don't need to scroll to the top to reselect. Yeah, I'm thinking about how I want to render them. So I don't like how it says summary on every button. It's too wordy. But I don't know exactly what I do want. I think what I want is like just the numbers, obviously. This is yeah, but I do want some kind of like header. So I'm thinking about like where I want that header. Yeah, what does it look like here? Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna say it should be to the left. Yeah, maybe it should just say like 0, 1, 2, and it's just on the hover it should say what it is. Let's say above the home button, buttons that say 0, 1, etc. appear, and when you hover, it says see messages after summary, see messages before summary, see messages after summary 1, etc. Okay, and then the other thing that needs to change is the summary applied message doesn't appear anywhere. The summary applied message appears nowhere. It's sort of awkward that the summary applied event isn't included in the DB. Can we store its text in the summary event going forward? And have it appear in the spice messages correctly? Okay. So let's see if we can figure that out. Let's see if this looks better. Okay. Oh yeah, so they don't appear now, but until I hover, oh, they don't appear when I hover, so they don't appear at all. Okay. Oh, you can see the server logs as they appear. That's funny. Okay, so the hover must be broken. If I close this completely, it says LM messages like we wanted. Oh, that one appeared. But this one didn't. Can I click it? I can click it. And then This is right because it's input, and then when it actually runs it, we show it like a get diff, I think. Output. Okay. Okay, so that's good. Okay. Oh, I guess it's being underlined. Wait, so which one is this? This is the chat when it chatted, but it's appearing in the wrong place. It just said, "I'll help you create a simple calculator," but it's appearing in the wrong place. Or did I click this one? Oh, that still looks super ugly. I'm gonna have to do some on the front end myself. I think it's so funny. I see these takes like I write the back end and the LM writes the front end, but I don't know. I feel like it should be the other way around because I mean the LLM can like you can actually see the back end or like what am I trying to say? It can run curl against your API. You know, it can test your API itself and stuff like that. And I think it has good taste for APIs, but it actually can't really see the front end very well. I mean, people are working on like VLLMs. They work. I don't know. I think I saw someone who said like every time a VLM comes out, he tries to get it to like make a calculator in a loop, and it never can do it or something, or like even just use a calculator to compute sums. And I don't know. I think there's a long way to go there, and probably it'll happen next week or something. But I don't know. I think actually React is harder than making like some REST API or like having a database. And CSS is also kind of hard when you can't see, especially. But yeah, this. Okay, so it does. Why is the edit card special? The edit. It appears the edit card. Okay, I'll give it some feedback. The hover appears for edit cards, but not shell cards. Let's see. Or the weight card, or appears for that one. Oh, you know what? I think it actually, instead of an underline, it might be cool if it was like a left border. I think that might look good. Instead of a blue underline, can we have a blue left border? Yeah, I'm trying to think of where I've seen that UX for. I think that actually would work to emphasize it. Oh, that actually looks good. Oh, wait. I think I see it now. I see the issue now. I think it's just right out of screen. Oh, did it shut down the server or something? Huh. There's some issue and uncaught. Invalid hook calls. Huh. I'll let them know I saw this. But I actually did like how that looked with the, so I take it back. I don't know why one of them was just underlined. Maybe some cards are implemented differently. The icon for shells and weight are just to the left, or just to the right of the card, so they're slightly cut off. Should be on top of it. Edits are placed well. What else I wanted to tell it? I liked the highlight. They just changed it or something. I need to refresh it. I liked the highlight for cards, but sometimes it was underlined instead. And that looked worse. Also, as I was clicking around, I saw this error. Maybe this one is one that can't really be vibe coded. I'm not really looking forward to reviewing this this PR. Okay. Oh, I've been streaming. I might stop here. I guess it's been about an hour. Didn't make a ton of progress. I mean, I guess we kind of did. Oh, I guess it's like just totally broken now. Huh, that's weird. Maybe it stopped the servers. Yes, we didn't make a ton of progress, but we did get like the summary's kind of working. But oh yeah, I guess it's not on this page. So we kind of got the summaries rendering correctly on the front end. With a few issues, buttons not so good, missing a message, and we kind of got the links back and forth working, but a lot of visual issues. Probably have to look that one by hand, but making good progress, I think. Yeah, thanks everyone for watching. I guess I'll stream again Monday. Oh yeah, sorry I didn't stream yesterday. I really wanted to get the the CLI out, which I guess we did, and I also didn't sleep too well that on Wednesday, but yeah, I guess so. We'll be back Monday and we'll finish making this open prompt then. Thanks everyone for watching. It was a lot of fun.